The views expressed on this episode, as with all episodes of We Hate Your Baby Daddy, are based solely on our personal opinions and shit we heard in the streets.
The content here should not be taken as indisputable fact. This show is for entertainment purposes only, so enjoy and don't come for us.
Welcome back to another episode of We Hate Your Baby Daddy with Bree and D.
Hello, hello.
And today we're going to be talking about Sean P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Combs, the Diddler.
The Diddler.
But before we get into the Diddler, we wanted to share some life updates. Actually, should we lead with the disclaimer? Yeah, let's
I feel
start
like
with
we should, because people are
Yeah.
going to be like, wait, I don't want to hear about nobody getting diddled. I want to skip this
Give the
episode.
disclaimer. Give the disclaimer.
Yeah. This episode deals with subject matter that may be very upsetting to some listeners, including topics about sexual assault, abuse, and grooming. If this is not the vibe that you're on right now, we understand that wholeheartedly, and we ask that you please listen to one of our more lighthearted episodes. Love you. Stay safe. Mwah.
Mwah. Yeah, check out something else. You know, we have some like fun episodes. Like Henry VIII was fun, or like what are some of our
Future was fun. Nobody got hurt in Future except for
That's
himself
right.
and his kidneys.
And Offset was fun. Nobody got hurt except for the car rental company that he didn't
Yeah, those are fun. What was
Yeah.
another one? It's kind of hard. Like, guys are violent. People get hurt around them.
Yeah. So check out one of the lighter episodes, if this is gonna be too much for you, because the diddler be diddling, all right.
Yeah,
But,
like it's. I'm telling you, I did the notes, and it's like impossible to try to. What can I say? Do like a censored version of what he did. Like,
ooh, ain't no censoring.
like I've been as bare bones as and undetailed as possible, but he be diddling. So
Oh boy. Well, before we jump into the diddler,
or before he jumps into us.
yo, I'm glad I live in the middle of nowhere, Virginia, because who did we piss off? Chris Brown. He doesn't know where I am. Diddy's about to be arrested. He doesn't know where I am. I'm safe.
Chris Brown would come in Philadelphia and just immediately be like, he would be sanctioned to Kensington. He wouldn't be able to leave.
Yo, you're light skinned, so he'd probably be like, bring her to me.
No!
The Mr. Krabs meme. No.
That's like a worse fate than death.
Being Chris Brown's ideal choice.
Yeah, just like turn around. Like, what? Who's that light skinned man? Why is he gaining speed?
Meanwhile, I'm outside of VIP, safe as a clam.
No, wait. Shout out to one of the people in our group chat. Remember she said she got hit on by a guy and she turned around because he said like yo and he started doing like the Chris Brown pop locking.
I do not recall that.
Yeah, her name begins with P. I remember it because it was like a vivid, vicious memory.
Oh my god.
I just thought of that.
I would never leave the house ever again.
Yeah, no, that's scary.
I'm sorry. So, life updates. I mean, I don't really personally have a life update. I'm excited for Easter. I'm gonna do like egg hunting with my daughter. She's not old enough to paint them yet, but I got her a nice Easter dress, and my hair is pink and white pastel for the holiday. I have an update about with the baby daddies. So we did Rick Ross, we did 50 Cent, and there was some crossover happening because so 50 Cent commented on the situation with Diddy because that's like his mortal enemy, as we'll get into. And he was like, one of 50 Cent's baby mom was the last one, Daphne Joy, was like named in the court papers as a sex worker. And so 50 Cent's like, oh, I didn't know you were a sex worker. And then she was crying.
Oh, she was weeping.
She was weeping because he was trying to get full custody of their son. Like he filed, and he's a troll, so it can't be serious. He's never raised any of his kids.
Okay.
But like he filed for full custody, and she's crying. She's like, I was never involved in this. Like, why are you coming out of left field trying to do this? And she's like, I'm gonna talk to a lawyer. And then Rick Ross's baby mama Tia commented, like, she said something, I don't even remember what
Oh
it
yeah,
was.
she was like, "Don't somebody be prostituting." Is what I was like. I was like, "Oh my god."
She was like, how come Ross didn't try to get custody of his kids or something?
Oh
I
yeah,
was
she
like,
was.
yeah, this one out, sister. Like,
Like,
so
I'm like, please sit this one out. Like, this is some serious shit going down. Like, not right
right.
now.
So if you haven't heard our Rick Ross episode or our 50 Cent episode, please go listen, because this is like a holy trinity of 50 Cent, Rick Ross, and the Diddler Diddy. So
It's just,
check those out.
and it's like perfect timing too, because we just did those back to back to back, and I was like, I told you a
Right.
week before this even all hit the fan, before he even got like rated. I'm like, let's do Diddy. Why not?
Right.
It was the day
Exactly.
after. They're like, oh, they raided his house. Oops.
But we'll get into all that. So, Dee, do you have a life update?
I have a life update. Yes. The baby child will be starting preschool, which is going to make me cry and scream.
Even me, like, so my kid's 16 months old today, actually. And even for me thinking about dropping her off somewhere with strangers, I want to cry just thinking about it. So, you're not alone.
No, I don't like the idea of it, but like she's got to socialize and learn to be away from me for longer periods of time, and she'll be all right. She's very social. She's
She
a Leo,
is.
so she'll
She's
be
so funny. She's like, I'm waiting for Bree to come on. I want to talk to Bree.
fine.
She's so
She's like,
cute.
"Where's my Aunt Barry?"
Yeah, she thinks my name is Barry, like like strawberry, like berry. I think she heard Bree and was like, Barry?
Yeah, she's like, "Barry." Okay, so that's Aunt
I
Barry.
just answered to it. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm Barry. I'll be
Just
Barry.
lean into it. It's fine. It's fine.
She's so cute. I will be whatever you call me.
And not even that. I'm just like, I'm not even scared too, because like she's very, very fiery. Like she definitely has her father's temper. So like, God help somebody that tries anything with her, because she just like says things outright. She'll be like, "Ew, don't do that. I'm telling my mom and the police."
She's half Karen, so
She
my kid is
is.
also half Karen.
I'm actually going to get her hair like silk pressed. I hope it's long enough
I'm
so it won't be a
dead.
bob.
Oh my god, have you ever silk pressed your hair before?
No, never. I always kept it in curls because I love her little curls.
Yeah.
But she asked me,
It's
she was like, "I want my
crazy.
hair to swing."
Oh, I can't wait to see. That'll be so cute.
You know, I'm also scared of burning it too. I hope it doesn't turn
Well,
flame
you just gotta
color.
take her to the Dominicans. They'll do it.
I'm
No.
scared. What are they gonna do?
They're gonna be pressing it. I know black eye Dominican.
I'm gonna be like,
And
"Mommy,
Mommy,
these
they keep
vaguely
playing Miss
black women
Machado.
are touching me."
Yo. Oh god, we're gonna get canceled.
We might.
Uh so what happened was, like, you didn't have your documents, right? Like,
No, so everything that I had that, you require for a daycare or a preschool or anything that you enroll a child in, I did not have, which took me the longest time to get her enrolled in something. So I've just basically, it's been like 6 or so months of me just like negotiating with like, like the people that do the admissions or whatever. I'm just like, hey, like, help a sister out. Like I didn't like just throw the documents out the window. Someone took them, and they're like, you know what, we kind of believe
someone
you.
didn't she destroy them?
Either she
Like, you can just
destroyed
take
them or
them.
she said that she still has them, but like the court was like, that's not yours. Can you give it back? And she never did. So
Evil.
yeah, so yeah, now
Evil.
that I got that all together and they're like, you know what, we can tell like this is like your proof of residence or whatever, you're fine. She can be enrolled now. But it was
That's
oh my God,
good.
it's so hard.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, it's just like a thing. It's just like when that person did what she didn't realize like the avalanche effect. Like you did that one thing and you fucked up everything.
So, we wanted to ask, how do you guys feel about our video episodes? Because we were doing them, but then we were like, they're not getting like more engagement than our audio episodes. And I'm like, plus, I feel like people listen to the podcast more like when they're commuting or doing something else. So they're not really sitting there like watching. They're more into listening. So do you guys want more video episodes, or are you like indifferent? We're both like moms, we work, so it's hard for us to like look presentable all the time. So we just want to know, like, do you want to look at us? Do you not? Because if you don't, like, we understand. We'll just be our vocal selves. But
Yeah,
if you
just
want
give
to
us
see us, let us know.
yeah, give us warning because like you should see the way I look right now.
Girl, I have a like, those pimple patches on my face.
Okay,
Like,
that's cute. I look like somebody's wino auntie right now.
I'm literally somebody's wino auntie.
Well, you've got the wine, but I look like I can't afford it right now. I'm on the corner. You got $1.
Bye. Goodbye. I'm like, I look a fucking mess. But if you guys want to see us, let us know. So,
Yes, yes, yes. All right. So that brings us to our introductory talking point. Me and Bree, we were looking at the comments on basically all of the social media outlets. Not so much the blogs, because the blogs kind of have a little bit more sense, but a lot of people are defending, like, not only Diddy's actions, but just like people that assault people in general.
yeah. And I saw women defending him too. And I'm just like, you're a
Very
woman.
sus. Very sus.
You would be a victim.
I don't, you know what? I'm going to say it right here. I don't trust or feel safe around any woman that's like that because she would sell you to Satan for a corn chip and she'll do it to a child too. And if they're a mother,
Girl,
I want an eye on that woman that's like, well, they're trying to bring the black man down. Like that bitch is gonna have anybody around her kids, and when they tell her that something happens, she's gonna look the other way. I don't like that.
mm-hmm.
I don't like that mentality.
Male identified women that are like,
Yeah.
need a man, women need men, we want them around. Like, I have to rid myself of women like that because they will be like, well, I don't want to be single and I care about that more than anything else. So, like, oh, if Diddy says bring girls to the party, knowing what he does, yeah, I'll bring them. And they think it's normal and it's fine. It's not normal. It's not fine.
It's very dangerous. Didn't we knew someone like that that tried to get us involved into a party. She's like, "Oh, come down to our party.
Girl!
There'll be a
Oh my
bunch
God,
of
I
men
forgot
there."
about
We're
that.
like, "What?"
I think I suppressed that memory. There was a girl in our group chat that was like, she was like, hey, I'm having a dinner. You know what? Let's not even get into it.
Basically, she was lining us up.
Yes. And I was at the time pregnant. I found out and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to dinner with you. Sorry. But like all the other girls were just like, no, we're not going to dinner with you. And then one of our girlfriends, bless her heart, she's like, yeah, I'll meet you, whatever. I like messaged her private. I'm a sister. Sister, that is not a normal dinner invitation.
Yeah, I think we
Like
all
she
put
tried
it to the side. We like
to you.
yoinked her. We're like, don't do that. Don't do that.
Can't trust girls like that. So she had to leave the group chat. So I saw bitches like defending Diddy. And I'm like, so Diddy is a near billionaire. He doesn't know you. And if you came into his circle, he would just take advantage of you. He would pass you around, male or female, pass you around to the group. You would have no worth or value to him. So why are you on Instagram or on Twitter saying like, oh, you guys don't know the facts? Wait for the court case. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, the classic response from the black community: he was about to buy XYZ. That's why they got him. And it's like, no,
They
he
always
wasn't.
say that. Like, oh, Dr. Sebi was gonna make a documentary. That's why they got him. Like, what?
Dr. Sebi thought that you could cure cancer with fruit. That's what got
Sea
him.
moss.
Oh,
Fruit
sea
and
moss.
sea moss.
Just sea slime. You'll be fine. But yeah, that just basically brings us to our subject, Sean Combs. We cannot say the things about him are just stuff that we heard as gossip because he has a lot of lawsuits and investigations. So, again, we will say allegedly, but allegedly is used lightly now. And yeah, when he was actually called out by Cassidy, instead of going to court and fighting it, he settled it the next day to make it go
That's
away.
right.
So,
And then he had a statement. He was like, I didn't do all that stuff. but I'm settling it because I want to get it out of here. And then how much did he pay? It was like it was like $1 million or something.
It was a lot of money, yeah.
It was a lot of money. So it's like you're not just settling because whatever, like you're settling because you did that shit.
Innocent people don't settle.
Boom. That's what
Innocent
Trump
people
always
with a lot of money don't settle. They fight the case.
Trump always says innocent people don't settle, but then he himself settled with Stormy Daniels.
I mean, he showed you. He led by example. You can't call the man a liar.
All right, so let's go ahead and
To the freak mobile.
I read that. I was gonna say jump into the episode, but no, I'm sorry. The freak mobile to the freak off.
Like Batman villain music. All right, we begin with the Diddler beginnings. It's like a fucking Batman origin story movie. Anyway, he was born November 4th, 1969. Of course, he was born 1969. And of course, he is a Scorpio. In Harlem, New York City, and he moved to Mount Vernon, New York at the age of 12. He was raised by...
Scorpio.
Don't stop!
She
I
tried
didn't
to
do
like
anything!
guess that. D is a Scorpio. 50 Cent is a Scorpio. Who else was a Scorpio? I think it's like Offset.
Future.
Like Future is a
Worst of the
Scorpio.
worst.
Like, listen, Scorpio males. I'm trying to
Oh,
give the
let's-
ladies some grace here, but Scorpio males are a problem.
They are. They are. He was an only child, thank God. So his dad served in the Air Force. He was a drug dealer. But I will say it was not crack this time. It was not crack. It was good old-fashioned heroin. 1970s.
What?
We didn't hit crack yet.
Oh, yes, the crack was more of the 80s.
Yeah, so by the time Sean was 3, his dad got shot the hell up in his car because they thought he was a snitch. He wasn't. He was a legitimate drug dealer, but they shot him up anyway, and he said that stuck with him. And yeah, Diddy took the information about his father as being the only way out for black men. Like the only way out is through violence, as he said, a basketball, as he said, or slanging
Damn.
some dope. So he had very low expectations, and to see now, that's pretty much how he made his empire. So he really did take it to heart.
Honestly.
Yeah, so he recalls being coddled by his grandmother. Like his grandmother could make him think that he did no wrong, and he had a horrible temper, a horrible temper. That's where he gets like Puff Daddy from, because he was called Huff and Puff.
Really? Huff and Puff. Wow. That explains a lot.
Yeah, like when you're like a younger black person, they're going to stick you with a nickname that like reflects either your like disposition or your looks. And if it's your disposition, you got a really bad disposition.
Huff and Puff. Wow.
So yeah, she said
He's a hair
that
trigger temper.
oh yeah, he had a hair trigger temper, and they said he was just kind of dangerous, But he studied business at Howard University, but he dropped out after 2 years. Went to music, started his own label, signed Big Smoke, blah 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 blah. We're not talking about that.
Yeah, that's a
hate your
whole
baby
rabbit
daddy.
hole.
Yeah, we hate your baby daddy. So we're going to talk about why we hate him, and not his hits, his other hits on women, not the other hits.
Yo. We'll get to the hits on women.
Yeah, that's coming up.
So, the diddler, Sean Puff Daddy P. Diddy Combs, he had 7 children. 7. And he had, 3, 4 baby mamas? I want to say it's 4. 4 baby mamas. 7 children, 4 baby mamas. Slut. Anyway, so...
Nasty.
I mean, this is his known offspring. 7 known children. We should always say that, because with these baby daddies, they're always popping out of the woodwork. Which,
Oh,
I
yeah.
shouldn't say that. That's kind of offensive, because it makes them sound like termites. But
Oh, well. Well. Yeah.
well, so let's go into his children and the unfortunate women that he cursed with his seed. So, first baby mama, Misa Hilton Brim. She is/was a stylist and fashion designer for Little Kim and for Mary J. Blige. She's Japanese, Jamaican, and African American. She is married with 2 other children. They were high school sweethearts. So she was 15.
The deep sigh before you actually saw what that meant.
Because she was 15, he was 19. So she would have been like a freshman and he would have been graduated, basically. So she was 15, he was 19. Basically a Cassie prototype, which we'll get into what that means for people who aren't hip to what the whole Cassie thing is. She was the mother of his first son, that is Justin Combs. He was born in 1993. So apparently they have like a neutral relationship. They co-parent amicably. They reunited for Justin's graduation in 2016. But she doesn't really fuck with him like that, like his other BMs, as we'll see. She tweeted once clowning Young Miami. So Young Miami, she's part of the duo City Girls with JT. And they had, so she had a single called Act Bad, which featured Diddy. And Misa said that she herself chose to act like a queen instead of a bad girl. And we're like, yeah, whatever, grandma. Nobody asked that. Like, you still sacrificed your kid, right, to the altar of Diddy. Like, so you can't sit there and say you act like a queen. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
If you
like, what
fucking
are you
on Diddy,
doing?
what kind of queen are you?
I don't know, like Queen Mary, more like.
Listen to our episode about Henry VIII. But anyway, so she's just being a fucking grandma. So she was quiet through everything, but now she is the most vocal she's been in years about Diddy, because her son was basically named as like a mini Diddy in court documents. And so she's like, she can't have her little baby go to jail. So for people who don't know, like Diddy got raided by, what was it, the FBI? Like,
Homeland Security.
yeah, by Homeland Security, because I mean, people are like, oh, it's allegations, but like, Homeland Security doesn't operate on allegations. Like, something has to really for real be happening. So they raided 2 of his homes, they arrested 2 of his kids, and now that her baby is like implicated, she's now like saying like free Justin, you know, and like now she's being vocal. But for years she was silent through all of his abuses and all the things that he did, which we'll get into. But anyway, so she used to be friends with Kim Porter. But then Kim Porter started fucking Diddy behind her back. So
Diddy's second baby mama is Kim Porter. She is a model, actress, singer, and entrepreneur. She is the mother of Quincy Brown. He was born in 1991, but his father is Albie Shore. But Diddy adopted him when he was like 3 years old, so he raised him. Albie Shore hasn't been in his life ever. He's just been on the sidelines, just
that
doing.
is so interesting.
Right?
First of all, before this, I thought Kim Porter was his first baby mama, and I thought she was Justin's mom too. And then I did not know that was Albie Shore's baby. Like, I had no idea.
Yeah, he was just there, and Diddy was like, okay, whatever. And he
Wow.
adopted him. But she had a biological child by Diddy in 1998, and that is Christian. That is their son. Then she had the twins, Jesse and Delilah, in 2006. And they're project triplets, but we'll get to that later.
Oh.
All right, so this is the big one out of the Biggie Mamas. Like, this is like the whale out of them. Like, she was not his wife. He never wanted to marry her, and he made it very clear to her. But he did the most to her and with her. So this is going to be pretty.
And has he ever been married?
I don't believe so. No.
No.
It just strings people along.
He's a whore. A whore.
He's worse than that.
Yeah.
So
Whoremongerer.
mongerer, procurer, maker of men. So they fell in love with each other while they were both in relationships, and they were kind of messing around while they were in those relationships, which, spells problems down the line. They cheated. Then they were together. They had like an okay relationship until like things started to like it's like a what is it, like the frog in water, like everything was fine until they
Boiling water, yep.
Yep, and she couldn't jump out, but again, we'll get more on that. But for child support, they broke up for the first time in 1999, and they settled child support for $20,000 a month until he was 21, and she got a lump sum of
Wait,
$150,000.
until Quincy or Christian was 21?
Christian didn't do it,
Okay.
couldn't do it for Quincy.
Right, till Christian was 21.
Yeah. And did he actually try to put a confidentiality clause on it that would cost her $50,000
Oh my
every time
God.
she spoke publicly about his private life and him? But that was dismissed by the courts because they're like, what the fuck does that have to do with child
Yeah,
support?
what are you doing that you need that?
Like, I feel like if anybody else would do that, they would have CPS at their door. Like, what do you mean?
Like, what are you doing? Yeah.
So then he cheated on her with J-Lo, and then he cheated on J-Lo with her. Like, it's just bouncing back and forth.
Back and forth forever. That's why everybody says, like, celebrities all share the same STDs.
They do. I have the chart.
It all starts with, like, Usher. Everyone's like, Usher has herpes. And then,
Usher has it.
allegedly.
So, they reunited in 2001 after he left J-Lo, and then they had the twins in 2006. But he, quote unquote, cheated on her with Cassie, but as we come to know today, that was not cheating. Cassie did not want to be a participant in that at all.
She was like his sex slave. He kept her like drugged and just dragged her around from freak off to freak off. Like,
She
it
was
was
a
disturbing.
baby, too.
Yes, very young girl. And she kept thinking he was going to make her like musical career. She had like one hit song, and then he was like, okay, that's all you need. Now you're my slave.
Yep. So, it was revealed in 2007 he was cheating. But I guess she kind of already knew, but he had to reveal it because Sarah Chapman came forward with her daughter. She finally left with that. Like in 2000, so she was done. She was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. She left, but she only left when he was not physically there. So, moving on, we are now on to the death of Kim Porter. Now, this
The
one's a big one too.
mysterious death of Kim Porter. And also, I'm sorry, let's back up. Sarah Chapman, is she white? I'm
Is she some
looking
type
at
of
her.
black or Spanish?
I can't tell because it's like today the girlies, they be blackfishing, and so she's got this tan. She's got a deep tan, but I'm like, she looks Caucasian.
Looking at her kids, I think she's some type of color. Like she's under the umbrella of black, not directly under it. She might be Creole or something. She went to Spelman.
Oh, okay. She might be somewhat black. She could be what's that girl?
A musty?
No,
A dusty?
no. What's that girl who had that documentary about her? She was like, no, she was a girl. She had that documentary, and she was like the head of the NAACP in her area, and then they like questioned her, and they were like, "Are you black or not?"
Oh, Rachel Dolezal?
Yeah, she could be like a Rachel Dolezal type.
She kind of looks like her.
She does.
It's like one of those. God forgive me. She's one of those unfortunate face light skins where it's like you didn't get the black features. You got like you got the slave master's face. Like they just like copy paste right onto you generations down. It's very unfortunate.
I can't tell what she is. Sarah Chapman, that's a white name. But anyway, go on.
Yeah. So she died under suspicious circumstances in 2018 at age 47 from pneumonia. Now, there are petitions and calls to reopen her case as her death seemed really suspicious, especially now with Diddy in serious hot water with the law. She was healthy, young, and she seemingly died overnight. Like, she had no prior health issues. She was having like a bit of a flu, but she was 47 and she never had problems with her health before, so a flu shouldn't have taken her out as fast as it did. Like, and she was all alone too, which is very convenient. Like, her kids were with Diddy at the time.
Sus, because he didn't have custody. I mean, there was no custody arrangement as far as I know. But just like with Diana, as we talked about in our last episode, the kids were conveniently with the dad, like when they weren't normally. But okay.
Yeah. So this is the shit that we heard on the streets about her death, which is first one. That's actually confirmed this, and we've seen this. The first person who examined her body found some type of poison or something in her system, like something wasn't right. But that person was removed, and then a new examiner was brought in, and then he just put the cause of death as like pneumonia. He just like they said it was really
Mhm.
rushed, and they asked to reopen it as soon as they as soon as they like, oh, you know, maybe it's pneumonia. Like, no, please reopen that.
We're in our true
But
crime era, and I believe that this pneumonia thing is BS. I mean,
it sounds like BS.
allegedly.
I mean, and to wrap it up, like, then the original forensic examiner that was like suspicious about her death to begin with, the first one, he died like right after he got taken off the case. That's scary.
That is very scary because these forensic examiners, they don't have any relation normally to the deceased. They're just there to examine. So the first one dies.
Yeah, and
Like,
they don't have any like context of what happened to this body. They're just if they find something
Diddy
messed up, they're
happened.
just like that shouldn't be like that. Like they're never given like, oh, this person was found with this or that. They're just given a body and they examine it and they're like, okay, well,
Yeah,
that
Diddy
shouldn't be.
happened.
Yeah. Another source said that Kim, well, several sources said Kim was writing a tell-all book about Diddy and the life that she lived with him when she suddenly passed away. And when they came to her house, all of her computers and her documents were wiped clean. There was nothing of the book when she was discussing it with her friends, and it got around like the associates that she was around, so that nobody could find anything about the book anymore.
That's fucking crazy because listen, so there's this new thing in the iPhone where you can add somebody to, I don't know what it's called, your succession planning or whatever, so that
Oh,
they
a
have
legacy
access to your phone.
contact, right?
Yeah, legacy. I added you as
Yep,
my
I'm
legacy
your legacy
contact
contact.
because I'm like, if something ever happens to me, do you, like, go in my phone, like,
D's not afraid. D sees things. Nothing will scare me.
And so Diddy, I'm sure, was not her legacy contact, but everything was wiped, and the home that they owned just sold. Like, really?
Yeah, he just
Really?
listed it. And it's just like,
How would you have that power?
yeah, it was like I was there. I looked at it. They're like, Diddy listed the home. I'm like, what do you mean Diddy listed the home? Not her children,
Right.
her adult son.
Steady.
Yeah.
Billionaire has the power.
So the other baby daddy, I'll be sure. He didn't like what was going on. He actually spoke about it, and as soon as he spoke about it, he got violently ill with multiple organ failure, and he was in a coma for 2 months. After he publicly accused him, he was like, Diddy, I don't know what you did, but you did something to my baby mama. Blinked and he was in a coma.
Yeah, and I remember that, and we were all like, "That's crazy," and even people commenting on it were like, "I'll be sure," minding his own business, and now all of a sudden he speaks about that one thing, coma.
Yeah, like
There's no
nobody even
fucking
heard
way.
about it. Like nobody's hearing anything from Al B. Sure, and now all of a sudden he's just laid up in a coma somewhere. Like what?
Crazy.
So this is what Al B. Sure said. He said, I do know very clearly that hashtag Kimberly didn't just check out all of a sudden over pneumonia. That's some bullshit. And then his next Instagram post was, really? Well, this is where I get in trouble. We just celebrated our son Quincy's new deal and Christmas special with Netflix, and she was in fantastic health as well, laughing and seeing me and Diddy exchange mutual exchange at the theater. I'm going to leave it there. And then Al also
Sus.
claimed that when they spoke, she admitted that she was running from someone and she was terrified. And Al was like, fucking, I'll be sure. What the hell can I do about that? Go to the FBI. Like, what am I going to do? And he said that, but then he changed his story and said, oh, no, she was just running for a marathon. But that was after his coma. So he was probably like, please don't put me in another one. Like, I'll change my story. She wasn't running away from anyone. She was running a marathon.
That's That's the thing. Like, Diddy's so scary. We'll get into this, but he is alleged to have like murdered people, have vehicles blown up. He will die under mysterious circumstances. Like, he is a scary individual. So,
Yeah. So even after her death, he still talks about her, like constantly. And it's like, you didn't
which
treat her well while she was alive. Why do you care about her now?
right. And that's the thing about these baby daddies. It's like he will talk so reverently about Kim because she's dead. When she was alive, no marriage. He didn't propose to her. They had all these kids. He wasn't around for them. He was making his career, whatever. But now all of a sudden, oh, Kim, she was perfect, blah, blah, blah. Like, get the fuck out of here,
She was
Diddy.
my everything.
Yeah, fuck you, Diddy. Like,
Yeah. But there was also comments from Kim's friends and family that Diddy picked out her golden coffin, which she is buried in, long, long before she actually died, which is like terrifying. Like, if my baby daddy's picking out my coffin.
girl, if
What?
my baby daddy texts me a picture, he's like, hey, do you like this coffin? I'm calling the police.
Yeah, I'm like, but
Fuck no.
yeah. We will get back to Kim. That was just a summary of their relationship, how they met, and their kids. We're just doing the baby mamas right now. And next we're going on to the ambiguous Sarah Chapman. You can take it away.
So, Sarah Chapman, we don't know quite what her race is. She is an Atlanta businesswoman. She's the mother of Chance Combs. Chance was born in 2006, and Chance is a daughter. So it's a girl, Chance Combs. So she was pregnant almost exactly the same time as Kim Porter when she was pregnant with the twins. So it's like triplets. So if you're not familiar with the term project twins, so okay, so Irish twins, that's when like you get pregnant one right after the other. They call it Irish twins. Project twins is when you get pregnant at the same time as you get someone else pregnant. So Sarah was pregnant around the same time as Kim. And so Kim said she had absolutely, like, she knew about Kim during that time. And she said, oh, I got pregnant, like, right after, whatever. It wasn't a coincidence. She knew. So there were rumors that Diddy had offered her $1 million in hush money to abort the baby. But she squashed those rumors. And so he pays her monthly like child support, 25K a month, which it's a little bit for him. It's a lot for like normal people. 25K a month, that's a lot. She doesn't have to work. But like for him, he's like a near billionaire. That's nothing to him. So it's said that she and Diddy have been intimate since she was in Spelman in college. Like they've been going like on and off steady since then. She is a proud side chick. She said she loved being Diddy's friend, and she said that she would rather let Kim have the spotlight. I never wanted her position, that's what she said. And so she was seen with him on a vacation in Italy as recent as 2021. And she's suspected to be one of those baby mamas that never stops fucking their baby daddies, which that's a common thing. I mean, we talked about this in the Rick Ross episode, like Tia and all them, and even in the Offset episode. It's like these baby mamas sometimes are still fucking them. So she's one of those. And yeah, that's her. Moving on to Dana.
All right, we have Dana Tran, cybersecurity specialist. She is the mother of Love Sean Combs, born 2022, literally like 2 years ago. The baby's still like one, I think, though. She was born late in the year. So, about Dana, she gave him a seventh Infinity Stone. Like now his power is unmatched. Thank you for that. So she's Asian, as we would have guessed, and she looks identical to Cassie, who looks Identical to
And
me.
Diddy was 53 years old when he had Love Sean Combs. 53. I mean, it's very random. Like, we don't know how he even knows Dana Tran. We don't know where she came from. Very random.
I mean, we have some ideas because when it came out that she was pregnant with the baby, she like deleted all of her social. She wiped it clean, and then she just posted her and the baby being cute, which is like, what were you hiding? But anyway, this was the woman that had Young Miami, you know, the main girl of his 2020s harem, very very upset because Young Miami didn't even know that this girl was pregnant, and she was with Diddy all the time. So yeah, Young Miami was sweating and tweeting up a storm because her position as bottom bitch was being threatened. Like she had another Cassie in the making who wasn't.
And Young Miami has no kids by him, so there's no permanency.
No.
She would post videos of him giving her stacks. Like, here was $200,000, go shopping, and she would make all these videos. But you don't have a baby by him, so you're not getting that monthly payout.
It's not in
Sorry.
writing. So, all right. She doesn't care and she didn't ask, and neither does Diddy. Like they just don't really mess with each other. Like nobody knows how they met. It seemed like a one night stand because it's just like they just had a baby and now they're just kind of like dealing with the consequences of it. Um, when I was looking her up to get any more information on her, they named her as a blackfishing cyber thought. And I'm like,
Yo.
they're not wrong if you look at her pictures. Because she's 100% Vietnamese.
Blackfishing
She's not Blasian.
cyber. I mean, so Dana Tran, so she has to be what, Vietnamese?
Yeah, she's 100% Vietnamese. Like, she's not like Cassie, who's like actually mixed with black. Lisa is
Oh,
actually
I
mixed
see.
with black.
Oh, I just looked at her picture. She has a picture with cornrows. If you're Vietnamese listening to this, sorry, but no, no cornrows.
Bay
No.
Area Asians, stop it.
What they do, they do the corner. She has the overdrawn lips with the lip liner. No,
It honestly kind of looks like a hate crime when they overdo it because then she makes her skin super dark. I'm
I
like,
feel lynched. The deep tan.
it's like this
You're
is
lynching me.
borderline blackface. Oh no, I'm sorry, but forgive me, but she does make her eyes super wide in the pictures, and it's just like, dude, don't.
You're Vietnamese. Just own it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. There's not really much else to find out about the woman, but yeah, she really, really
Yeah.
wants to be
So
that Blasian queen, but Diddy likes a very specific type,
he does
and if you
the
don't get that
Blasian, like,
exact type,
exotic. Yeah.
you're done. You're done.
So a bunch of his baby mamas have accused him of domestic abuse. And remember, we mentioned earlier in the episode they call him Puff Daddy because he huffs and puffs, like he has a short temper. So Diddy is known for his insane temper and violence. And this does not stop at like other men or like competition. We're going to list some of his known acts of domestic violence, aside from what has been named in lawsuits against him. So, for example, Kim Porter, confirmed by a bodyguard of Kim Porter. So, he broke her nose, with her excusing it as falling against a table. It had to be surgically corrected. He wiretapped her phone and home. And even while he was dating J-Lo, Diddy would call Kim Porter's babysitter, and if she wasn't home, he would stalk her all around New York City until he found her. And allegedly, all this is alleged, but allegedly he supplied and kept her addicted to cocaine to keep her compliant, to make sure that she was under his thumb.
It's sad. It gets even worse because
It does get worse.
It gets even worse because while he was like done with her because he got bored of her, she was like, okay, whatever. Like I had your kids, I can date now, right? Wrong. Absolutely.
It's like
wrong.
a lot of baby mamas. I mean, even my own baby daddy would try to like offer things like, for example, oh, if you want to go out, I'll watch the baby. But I'm like, no, because what you're trying to do is make sure that you know what I'm doing. Like, you're trying to control my movements, you know? And so him trying to keep her addicted to cocaine, like that, it was just all about control. But anyway, so there were men who tried to date Kim Porter, and as we'll talk about, they paid the price. So, for example, there was a record executive, Def Jam Records. His name was Shakir Stewart. He was found dead of a quote unquote self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head, which is impossible unless you're killing yourself, but we doubt he did that. But anyway, at his home. So he dated Kim Porter in the early 2000s during her break with Diddy, which caused Diddy to fly into a rage. Like, how could you date Kim Porter? That rage was also the source of Kim's broken nose. And so Diddy assaulted him prior to his death once he heard of him dating Kim. So he heard that Shakira was dating Kim. He broke Kim's nose, and then Shakir Stewart died of a mysterious gunshot to the head, whatever.
Really mysterious. And like
Very
Diddy tried to
mysterious.
I looked up, they said Diddy tried to say, oh, I've never met this man before. They're like, you beat his ass like 2 months before he died.
Yeah, like, come on. You know everything about him. You probably had like a PI like go after him, like, get the fuck out of here. So the next person, he managed 50 Cent and Diddy. His name was Chris Lighty. He was found dead, lying outside of his home, face up, of a quote unquote self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Are we seeing a pattern here? Self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. And no one believed his death was a suicide. Many celebrities came out and said that was not a suicide. Most notably, 50 Cent. He went as far as hiring a team to launch his own investigation on behalf of Chris Lighty's mom to find out what really happened. And so Chris Lighty was romantically linked to Kim, and Diddy made it known he was mad about that. So, mysterious circumstances. And so Misa Hilton Brem, his first baby mama, and this was confirmed by a bodyguard, Diddy viciously beat her for talking to a man named Eric Sermon, who was a rapper and a producer. And this is a pattern that goes on through Huff and Puff Daddy's life. He just viciously beats women. But anyway, there was Gina Huynh, a former girlfriend. She looks a lot like Cassie, who he was with for like 10 years. And I don't know how she dealt with that for 10 years. That's a long time. But Gina Huynh, she got pregnant. Diddy only gave her $5,000 to get an abortion. And he stomped on her stomach and he assaulted her in the textbook way that he assaults women. He stomped her, he punched her in the head, strangled her. Like, this is why we give the trigger warning. This is a brutal assault on a woman just because she was pregnant. And he was like, I don't want you to be my baby mom, and strangles and stomps her. I mean, insane. Insane.
And she's not the first person to say that. Pretty much everybody that said that they've been assaulted
Everyone.
by him has said he does the same moves. He'll strangle you. He'll stomp you. He's a big fan of stomping. And he, like, first he hits you in the back of the head, so he, I guess, like, rattles your brain. And then he just goes ham. And once you're on the ground, he just stomps you. And every single person that got their ass beat by Diddy said the same exact thing. And, like, if there's smoke, there's fire.
Right. And especially as a woman, like, you don't have the strength. I mean, so anyway, she obviously did not have a baby by him, but these are the alleged, rumors about what he has done to women. And yeah, there's a bodyguard that came out and like kind of told it all.
Yeah. So it's Gene Deal. He was his bodyguard. He did security work for Bad Boy Records, which is his label, and he did his actual personal security, like, bodyguard. Like, he followed him everywhere. And he wished he didn't, because he said he saw things he wished he didn't while he was his bodyguard. So he even pursued the car that shot Biggie. Didn't catch him, of course, but he was there. It's like he saw a lot of stuff. He was like an eyewitness. Almost everything that he said, and he said things like decades ago. Like he just went out and said, like, yeah, he was doing this, he was doing that. It was awful. Have been confirmed as like more comes out about him. Like the people that are filing lawsuits about him are pretty much upholding exactly what he's saying. They're like, yep, that definitely happened. And there's no changing of the stories. It's like word for word. So when he was talking about Cassie, he said Cassie experienced the same exact thing as Kim Porter. And he did confirm that Diddy busted Kim's nose. He didn't say break, he said he busted it open. That's why they had to have it like surgically. It was awful, he said.
It's fucking crazy. That's like what happened to little Kim. Like she got abused, and that's why she kept altering her appearance, because she had to keep getting it repaired.
Yeah, and there's only so much skin that you have, so it just gets tighter and tighter, so it's really awful. He claimed that Diddy became addicted to prescription pain pills after Kim finally stabbed him in the hand defending herself.
Oh shit.
Well, good for her. He was called to the scene on that one because Diddy got stabbed. He's his personal bodyguard. He was supposed to be there to prevent him. I was like, yes.
He was probably secretly praying for his downfall, like stab with the heart next time.
He was like, oops. Oops, I was walking too slow. But yeah. He confirms every single thing that Cassie said, especially the sex trafficking. He had to be a witness to it because he had to be right outside the door. He said, that poor man. He said that this is a quote, Cassie's story is Kim's story. Cassie's book is Kim's book, which directly alludes to Kim's book that never saw the light of day. And he was an eyewitness to Diddy coercing and grooming male rappers and R&B singers and young men to be alone with him. And this one instance, he said that Diddy dragged him to a sex shop to get male-oriented toys. And he had to be left alone with a known rapper for many hours while he sat outside and heard the carnage.
Allegedly, that known rapper was
Ja Rule. It was Ja Rule. He did it to Ja Rule first. Like, I know you were like, who is like so many men?
So everything's coming out now. It's like Ja Rule, Meek Mill. There's a lot.
Usher, poor Usher.
Sure.
He got
Usher
when he was a
got
baby.
passed around apparently, and so that's why 50 Cent has this huge beef against Diddy, because 50 Cent is like, apparently Diddy offered to take him shopping. And 50's like, what the fuck? We're two grown men. You can take me shopping?
He was like, wait a minute. I've heard that before. I wasn't the subject of it.
Oh my god. So
And the last one
Diddy...
is that he said no one, and I mean no one. So the people that are labeled in the documents of going to Diddy parties, they knew exactly what was going down. Like, you don't go to a Diddy party if you don't expect to get diddled.
Yeah, they call them freak offs, and they would have pink cocaine, which apparently is ecstasy and cocaine mixed together. Which I'm like, we're too poor to know what that is. Like, pink cocaine, I never heard that in my life. But it's like, Diddy's just out here doing whatever. I mean, he's a near billionaire. I read something once that was like, people who, for example, don't have $1 million, we can't comprehend the life that they live. But $1 billion, you can't even come close to comprehend the life that they live. Waking up to something called pink cocaine, that's something I could never even imagine. Ecstasy and cocaine mixed together, I have no idea that was even a thing. Like, and they're doing this on yachts and in luxury hotels with drums of baby oil and lube.
Oh, it's there. It's not even that. It's just like, can you imagine the poor people that have seen this pink cocaine? They're like, what is this? What is it? And you're already like kind of scared because you're around Diddy. Like, you know, more people are in that
But
like body list. Their hearts, my heart would explode. Just one bump and I'm done.
I have social anxiety. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you just like as a person that's like socially anxious, you're like, okay, let me just do some coke. I'll be better. And you're like, what was
Uh-oh, my heart rate.
and your heart rate gets and like your body starts tingling, the vision starts tunneling. You're like, oh my god! And we're reminding you, this was not only women. This was just men. Like you know how like men are like, oh, we're gonna have guys' night, buddy. You're
You're
looking
the
around,
host.
everybody's drunk and high. Where's the bitches?
You call the strippers in, the bitches in. You're the strippers and the bitches.
You're
Meek
the
Mill.
bitches now.
So, for our listeners, this is part one because the things that are coming out right now about Sean Puff Daddy P Diddy Combs, that's not the end. This is part one.
It's so bad.
Imagine, listeners, if this was your baby daddy. Like, this could have been any of us. You just mind your own business. You have an intimate encounter with someone that you think, oh, we're dating, whatever. And this becomes your baby daddy. This is just part one. And these are several women that this is their baby daddy. So we have to have a part two to go into more detail of like what's going on with this situation. It's a developing situation.
More and more people get named. Now Cuba Gooding Jr. is being named. He was touching up on people.
Girl, Prince Harry, Cuba Gooding Jr., Meek Mill.
We will say that with the Lil Rod lawsuit, that was the problem. Like, Lil Rod was a man, but because he was a man, I guess like they thought that he would be like all in. He said that basically with his lawsuit, we only saw a little bit of the pictures and videos, but he has hours worth of video of everything that was going on. So like while they thought that he was in the background, like, yeah, man, I'm taking a picture of those strippers. The man was terrified. This was like his final resort. Like sending it to his wife, sending it to his ex-wife, like, I love you. Make sure my daughter's okay. It's like a woman twerking with pink cocaine on him. He's like, this is the end.
And that's what we mean about like with these situations with these baby daddies, like this could have been your baby daddy. Like everybody, so I'm on Twitter now, tweeting and stuff. And people are always like, oh, why does a woman just leave her baby daddy? Why doesn't she stay and make it work so they can have a 2-parent household? Look at this. How could you? How could you stay? I mean, there wasn't even an option to stay for some of them because Diddy just like fucked off to whoever. But I mean, even if he didn't, let's say this was my baby daddy and he's this type of a freak. Girl.
As soon as I heard the words, I mean, like, you've heard, like, the name of the pink cocaine is called Tusi. That sounds zesty. That sounds zesty. I'm already out. Like, no.
Tucci. Tuci. Tucci.
Yeah,
that's the name
out.
of the zesty pink cocaine. You want to be with a guy who's just doing that. And there's no, people are like, oh, you can pray with him. There's no amount of prayer that you could do with a baby daddy like this to make him stop doing Tucci and doing whatever. He's a billionaire. We can't comprehend what billionaires have the power to do. Like, just think about that for a second. Like, I'm just a regular smegular girl. Listeners are probably regular smegular people. We can't comprehend. He could just hire anybody. If someone says, you know what, you can afford me, my price is $1 million. That's $1 to him. That's nothing.
That's why he has so many. And so many high profile people too. Like, these are celebrities that he's like treating like meat.
Some of your faves were busting it wide open at Diddy parties at freak offs. So just remember that.
And we want to reiterate here, men. It can happen to you too. Your
You
ex
could be the
can
host.
be an entrance. So do not think that you're above being diddled. And there are other men like him out there.
Being diddled is sending me.
It's just
You
insane
know.
to me. It's just like they just sold this. They're like, they tearing a black man down. I'm like, no. Diddy's tearing black men down from the ass up. Like, what do you mean?
I can't. I cannot deal. And so, again, this is part 1. There's a lot more. So, yeah, tune in next week for part 2. But, just to sign off, Dee, where can they follow us on social media?
You can follow us at WHY Baby Daddy Pod. We are on, I hate saying this, X, known as Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
Yes. And if you made it this far, leave us a review. Just click 5 stars. Tell us we're the best you've ever had. Listen to our Drake episode. Best you ever had. Anyway, listen. Diddy like spit her drink out. She was like, bitch, not on this episode.
Now's not the time.
Yes, so leave us a review, a nice little comment, click the 5 stars, what have you. Tell us you love us, and listen next week to part 2 of The Diddler.
The Diddler. The Reckoning.
The Reckoning. Stop.
The Diddler. Part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Anyway, thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye. Protect yourselves.